Hi everyone, so let's now have a look at the second half of these insurance products that you need to understand for your exam. Okay, I've left these definitions up on the board for insurance and premium, so it's really important that you understand what those elements are, but let's get stuck into travel insurance. Okay, so here we've got to consider the fact that travel insurance protects individuals or families on foreign holidays, of course. Now, it provides protection for belongings. So that is, if your bags are lost in transit on the flight, perhaps, then yes, it does mean that you are likely to actually go and get yourself a new wardrobe within reason to make sure that you do have the necessary goods to enjoy your holidays. It also provides medical expenses as well and covers those medical costs in the case of any accident. But beware, if you are participating in, say, extreme sports like skiing, snowboarding, those sorts of things, kite surfing, whatever, you've got to make sure that's actually part of the policy, because otherwise they're likely to be excluded because they're deemed high risk. Okay, and it also helps protect against cancellations when it comes to flights and gives a certain amount of entitlement there. Okay, now, if you do need to claim because of this first reason regarding your belongings, or the third one here about cancellations, then the initial cost will be borne upon the individual, and they will then have to reclaim later on when they come back from their holiday from the insurance company and possibly the airline, depending on whose fault the actual problem was there. Yes, that can be a little bit of a hassle and more paperwork that's actually necessary. It means you've got to keep all your receipts for that period and so on. Okay. Further to that, there's an additional cost here, of course, in terms of taking a foreign holiday. So that's something else that is a downside to using this, but overall, of course, it's very necessary, and you can take travel insurance out in a variety of different ways, which would be another advantage. So you could use a single trip, you could use a multi-trip if you go abroad lots in a given year, or you might actually take out an annual policy which covers you as you go backpacking around the world. Right, then we've got pet insurance. Okay, so pet insurance protects owners of pets against the expense of treating ill pets, of course. Now, it may, of course, help to avoid expensive vet fees. It involves a monthly premium. Oh yes, it does. So it involves a monthly premium. Now, that monthly premium needs to be made throughout the year, but it can, of course, be far more manageable than paying it in one go. It's also an additional monthly expense that will be borne upon dog owners. So that's a downside, and there can be certain policy exclusions. If you only take out a basic policy, then there's going to be a lot of exclusions to that given policy, and it may mean if your dog actually is unwell for any given reason, that the actual cost, the vet fees necessary, would not be covered in your given policy, and the animal may end up getting put down as a result of that, perhaps. Okay, so yeah, it's worth looking at the fine print on any policy that is being taken out. Okay, and then we've got health insurance, of course, and this covers individuals, families, or employees against medical expenses and lost earnings. Okay. So again, it does depend on the policy that is being taken out and who that policy cover is with, but some compensation is then provided when ill. Again, it's worth having a look at some different health insurance policies. So take a look at the range, see what they cover, see what their likely advantages, disadvantages are likely to be. And then we've got private healthcare, which of course has a quicker quicker response time in terms of actually organising any necessary treatment, and there's better access to what tend to be far nicer facilities that almost look like hotels. Now, it can be very expensive, of course, that's a big downside, and some people with existing conditions will not be eligible for cover. Okay, now we'll just have one little area where we look at car insurance in a little bit more detail in our next lesson, but other than that, that's Learning Aim 8 done and dusted. Thanks guys, thanks for joining me. Alright, see you next time.